All cats old enough to catch their own prey gather here beneath the podcast for a clan meeting. Welcome to Paws Clause, a podcast where we read the Warrior Cats books in chronological order. I'm Scout, joined by my co-host and supreme jammer of spells, Jill, and today we will be discussing the SkyClan and the Stranger manga arc and Power of Three, Book 4, Eclipse.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Jill. How goes it, my friend?
Oh, it goes. I just got out of a D&D session, literally 5 seconds before we started recording, and it was going pretty well.
Hell yeah. Did you get to finish that combat?
No, we just finished a round, or the second round, but I already had one person go down, so, you know,
sometimes
it's okay, my character knows cure wounds.
Is that when you're playing or one that you're running?
I'm playing, yes. This is one where I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm playing it's Acheron, but meaner, basically.
Yeah, you're playing your little freak, your little, like, necromancer freak in that one, right?
I'm playing a little necromancer freak in that one.
Hell
He's kind of a bitch. I love him, though. He's so fun.
Incredible.
Especially because one of the other players, she's played very little D&D, and she's not played on Roll20, like, at all.
Oh.
So she's still learning. And her character is like, oh, well, we should help everybody, and we should be nice. And I'm like, there is a curfew for a reason. That door is locked for a reason. Do not open the door to the spooky forest outside. But the bard out there, she needs help. I don't trust it. Don't do it. No, I'm gonna do it. Well, the bard is a werewolf, so yeah.
It was a trap. Your guy was right.
It was in fact a trap, and I was right, but I'm not gonna hold it over the rest of the party, but I am going to be a little smug about it if we all make it out alive.
I just wanted to be known. I was right.
I was right.
I'm okay with what happened. I understand. I just want y'all to, in the future, maybe listen to me, you know?
Yeah, I tend to be correct about things. How have you been?
We had a wonderful session of D&D a few days ago. That is what your epithet today was in.
I appreciate that.
Relation to. We finished up our Spelljammer campaign, and it was such a fun finale. I had the best time.
I'm so glad. I always worry about the end of a campaign. I'm like, oh, is this going to be satisfying? Like, are people going to have fun? Am I going to, like, do enough to, like, make people, like, feel satisfied? But I was really happy with the way that one went.
It went really well. And I got to do 250 damage in one round at one point.
That was fucking nasty.
I think that might be the wildest, like, damage-wise, turn of combat in D&D I've done. And I played Alkai Broadside, who was queen of fucked up damage. She might have done, like, more. She had to have done more at one point, because I'm
sure
we went all the way up to 20, but it was a good feeling. Steelwind Strike, good spell.
Good fucking spell.
Good fucking spell.
Time.
Good time. But enough about that. How is the prey running for you?
Well, the prey is running all right. We made some decent meals last week. I made a soup. I made a meatball soup.
Oh, I love a meatball soup.
Because it is now fall, and it is starting to get cooler, thank God.
I'm jealous. It was cool the last couple of weeks, but this week it's back up into, like, the 80s and 90s. I hate it. But I love that I will drink soup vicariously through you.
Naturally. But yeah, so we had some good soup, which was a good call, because the day that I made soup, Eric came home early from work because he had COVID. So
it comes again. The Reaper's knell. I hear it in the distance.
Yeah.
Once again, it's been really rough lately.
It's been really rough. Yeah.
The current variant seems to be extremely contagious. This is your friendly reminder to everybody out there, folks. It's never never too late to just say, I'm going to wear a mask today. You know, it could help you, could help somebody else if you've got one around.
Also, go get your booster if you can.
Get your booster.
My doctor, I just saw my doctor last week, and he did he say that he usually recommends getting the booster in fall, like closer in October maybe, to get the flu and COVID boosters. But this episode will be coming out in October, I believe, right?
The very 1st of October.
Let this be your impetus to go and get your shots.
Hell yeah. Planning on getting my shots once my household is completely freed from symptoms. Both my parents are doing well. They got like a little bit of like rebound gunk right now, you know, just like feeling kind of crummy, still need some time. I tried to convince them to take it easier when they started to feel better, but I think they probably overdid it. And now they are not feeling as good.
Look, I do the same thing.
They're adults.
It just happens.
They have to make their own decisions.
That's true.
What did I make this week? I made ratatouille. That's what I made.
Like ratatouille, like the way they make it in the movie Ratatouille, or ratatouille a different way?
The traditional ratatouille, which is cut everything up into cubes and put it in a big pot, but not the fancy like really thin ratatouille that they do in the movie, but a traditional ratatouille
in the seminal film Ratatouille.
The seminal film Ratatouille. If there's anybody out there who doesn't know this, I'm going to curse you with knowledge right now. Because recently, a mutual friend of ours, I was able to impart this onto them. If y'all didn't know, the main human character in that movie is named Alfredo Linguini. That's just a fun fact for everybody today. I love the movie Ratatouille so much. It's so absurd. I love that pathetic man. Seminal pathetic man for me, I think. I think like early DNA pathetic man for Scout, the person. I made ratatouille, and in a mixing of locations of food, I made focaccia to have with the ratatouille, because you love to have like just a crusty bread to dip in your ratatouille in this nice, delicious.
You're killing me. Stew. I want that so bad.
I'll definitely have to make some focaccia for you when next we meet.
When next we meet. One day.
One day.
Can y'all believe Scout and I have only ever been in each other's presence once?
I know, it was so fun too. I loved hanging out with you.
It was a good time.
That was a good trip. If only the world wasn't
so bad.
So much. So much and so bad so often.
Yeah. And if only the world wasn't so expensive.
Everything's so expensive.
Everything's expensive. Let's talk about some covers.
Covers. I've pasted just so many covers into the show doc today. There's quite a few. They're really good. We have the traditional one, the original classic cover that I know you've spoken about before. The Eclipse in the background of this one is really strong. The J-Paw is like fine. The J-Paw on this cover,
he's all right.
Like he's all right. But it's really the background that does it super well with this one, with like this huge ring of sunlight around the eclipse. Everybody, like all of the illustrators for this particular book, really, they were all like, they were eating, honestly.
As they should. Is there anything fucking cooler to put as a background for your character, especially for your like potential, like for a villain, having an eclipse behind their head? Are you kidding me? An evil halo? It's so good.
It fucking owns. It's so good. So the original cover, the Wayne McLaughlin was really good. The reprint cover, also pretty good. I don't think that it has quite as much, like, I don't like this soul, because this is supposed to be soul on the cover, and it's not. That is a full ass orange tabby. That is completely not what soul looks like. But I do like sort of those sort of swirly wispies around the edge of the eclipse in that one. I like the sort of long grass. I like the fucked up tree on the back part of the illustration, the back cover part of the illustration.
Yeah, the mood is super good. They even have like the like flares and arcs coming off of the eclipse rather than just like straight lines, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Poland, again, fucking killing it. This is essentially the same concept as the reprint cover with like Soul against the eclipse, but just like done so much better. First of all, Soul looks like Soul looks, is like the correct coat pattern and everything. Even has like a lot of this ruff that's kind of like alluded to that he sort of looks like a lion in this book. And I have this one pretty small in here right now, but the cat that is beneath Soul here is Black Star, just kind of like looking ominous and sad against a blood red background.
That's so fucking good.
It's really good.
Man, I love this Soul. I love how long his ears are.
I know, he's so long. Very long and narrow, very sort of
long boy.
Yeah. Really good look. I really like the simplified Chinese cover too. It doesn't have quite as much impact, but I just love that like everybody was like, we got Soul, we got the Eclipse, let's fucking go. I enjoy the different color palette for this one where it's a lot more sort of golds. It's a lot brighter. And I do like the position of Soul sort of looking down at us. Not as big on this Soul design, just because I tend to think of him.
He's Lumen.
You got games on your phone? I tend to think of him a little narrower than this.
I do too.
But I do like it a lot.
To me, he is a skinty queen.
Yeah, he's slimder. I do want to take a moment to shout out the original Soul portrait from the Ultimate Field Guide. This is like one of my all-time fave cat portraits that Wayne McLaughlin did.
It's really nice.
For the series. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about it that like it's extremely touchable. Like if I touched this, it would be soft. It would be velvety.
Yeah.
And really, really strong, like intense look. I love the specific way that Wayne decided to abstract out the tortoiseshell with Soul into like these almost koi fish-like markings.
Yeah.
I think he looks really cool.
I agree. I love the way his eyes are looking. I feel like a lot of the cat portraits are like looking straight ahead. And I like that his is kind of looking to the side and up.
Yeah, it feels very much like he is sort of crouched and looking at someone intensely who is above him. Like you're in a heated argument with Soul. Or POV, you are the third party watching a heated argument with Soul and somebody else.
Real. Yeah.
And then the one other one I wanted to call out is that the manga that we read today actually has a Polish cover that is also great. This is Leaf Star and Soul on the cover.
Leaf
I'm
Star
just
looks
obsessed.
so baby in this one. I love her.
She does look so baby,
and
I'm
her.
I'm obsessed with the lighting.
It's really good. I love the way that Soul like is looking down at her. Oh, it's so good.
Yes. And the way his eyes are so bright, even though like his whole face and everything is cast in shadow.
Yeah.
You know who Leaf Star looks like here is our friend of the show, Nick's cat.
Oh my god, I was just gonna say it looks like Nick's cat.
Yeah.
Oh, it so does. Hold on, now I have to like go in and find a picture of the boy.
It's Birdie, right? Birdie is the orange and white one. And
like,
Snicket is the just
Snicket
pale
is the orange
one.
and Birdie is the orange and white. She does look a lot like Birdie.
She's got Birdie energy.
So
Shout out to Birdie for being one of my favorite cats to see photos of because the man is always just a rectangle. It doesn't
so
matter
funny.
what angle he's being photographed from. He is simply the platonic ideal of a loaf.
He really is. Oh my god, he's such a cutie.
I love him.
He's so funny. I literally am scrolling through it and I'm finding so many loaf loaf pictures of him.
He's just loaf shaped.
He's so shaped. Shout out to Birdie. What a guy.
Shout out to fucking Birdie, man.
I love cats. Wow.
Cats are good. Y'all ever heard of cats?
Zelda has been very affectionate with me lately, which is weird because she's usually not that affectionate with me. So I'm kind of like, am I dying? Is something wrong here? But no, she's been very affectionate. And this morning, while I was on the computer, like getting started with work and things like that, she just kind of curled up and laid she tried to squish herself underneath my thigh.
Aww.
I was just like curled up as close as she could. And all weekend she woke me up by laying directly on my chest and cleaning herself. So
as cats do.
As she must do. But yes, she's been very sweet lately, even if she is very stinky.
She is. She's stinky metaphorically, emotionally, and physically. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that is the one thing Eric's been complaining about because of his COVID. He can't smell right now.
Oh, that sucks.
And he loves to just take a big whiff of Zelda.
And he can't smell her right now.
Smell her.
That's so sad.
It really is. He just wants to take a big old sniff of her head. It's so sad.
Take a big whiff. It'll be back, Eric.
He wants
it's okay,
to talk
bud.
so bad.
Anything else for prey running for you, or?
Oh no, we've been very bad about cooking lately. with Eric sick, it's kind of just he's not as hungry.
Mm-hmm.
What am I even gonna make? Yeah, it's been pretty.
Yeah, I've lately. Definitely in the last episode, I was talking about how I was, keeping the banner held high and making food for my family while my parents were both sick. Now that they're starting to feel better, I have definitely reached the point of no return, and I'm like, I can't do anything anymore. I really need to rest. I can't think about food. I can't think about work. I can't think about anything.
Yeah.
I just need to sit here for a while, okay, guys?
No, it's so real. Well, and as I've been recovering, I'm also I don't want to cook.
Yeah.
I just wanna relax.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into it.
All right. Well, sit back and relax while I read you a little story. How about?
Oh, I'd love that.
In SkyClan and the Stranger, we return to the distant 5th clan, where Leafstar works hard to balance her leadership duties and her growing familial responsibilities as she and Billystorm welcome their kits into the world. Tensions between the full-time and daylight warriors continue to run high, and even born and raised SkyClan apprentices begin straying from the warrior code by taking kitty pet food from a human who lives nearby. Actions which inadvertently lead the human to the gorge, where she captures Leafstar and her newborns, bringing them back to her home. While briefly imprisoned by the nice old woman, Leafstar meets the other resident of the house, Harry, a tomcat who takes an interest in her stories of clan life. When Billystorm and the other SkyClan cats stage a classic cat prison break, the kitty pet aids them and asks to join the clan afterwards, revealing that Harry is only what his human called him. His real name is Soul. Though Leafstar owes Soul a debt for his kindness and aid, the newcomer does not take well to clan life, failing again and again to internalize his training lessons, all while expending his energy on slightly harebrained schemes to try and shortcut his way into being of value. An instinct he claims is on account of his tragic backstory. Woe after woe piles up for the 5th clan. Overwhelming summer heat, fox attacks, Soul's lackluster training progress. When a flood devastates the camp, it sows seeds of doubt about the viability of living in the gorge at all, including from her own mate, who goes so far as suggesting she and the kits leave SkyClan and live with him and his 2 legs. Exhausted by all this, Leafstar lets her guard down. In that moment of vulnerability, her kits go missing, and for several days the clan searches, fighting off an unrelated rogue cat incursion in the process. In the end, it's Shrewtooth's cleverness that reveals the kits were stolen by Soul, who spirited them away in the hopes of dramatically returning with them to appear as a hero. Disgusted by his actions, Leafstar banishes Soul, and the Tom flees from SkyClan's hunting grounds, looking for somewhere new to cause trouble. In Eclipse, our trio, now armed with the words of the prophecy, return to the lake from their mountainous adventures, trying their best to readjust to clan life despite the so-called power of the stars weighing heavy on their paws. Cinderpaw's leg is declared totally healed by Leafpool, but during her warrior assessment, she wrenches it badly and is once again confined to the medicine den. There is fear this might ruin her chances of becoming a full-fledged warrior, but some inspiration from the stick leads J-Paw to suggest swimming might help with the apprentice's recovery. Before long, she's showing significant improvement, ready to fulfill her past desires in this, her second life. As tensions begin to rise between ThunderClan and WindClan, Hollypaw spots a strange loner on the horizon one morning. Later, he visits the clan, introducing himself as Soul. He warns J-Paw and Leafpool of a terrible impending darkness where the sun will be eaten, and even StarClan will be powerless to stop it. Shortly after Firestar sends the suspicious loner on his way, the entirety of WindClan stages an elaborate ambush in an attempt to take over ThunderClan territory, using the tunnels, which weren't completely collapsed during the events of Dark River after all, to sneak across the borders undetected and strike under cover of night. RiverClan joins the battle on WindClan's side, but in an uncharacteristic show of cooperation, ShadowClan comes to ThunderClan's aid. The four clans fight for their lives in a chaotic free-for-all, until the sun suddenly disappears, with no word from StarClan to warn them, just as Soul said it would. The frightened cats flee back to their own camps in shock, ending the battle in a draw. Once the sun's disappearance, the eclipse, subsides, J-Paw, convinced that Soul's knowledge must mean he has more to teach them, ropes Hollypaw and Lionpaw into tracking down the mysterious cat. They find him on the edge of ShadowClan territory, but are subsequently found by a ShadowClan patrol and brought to their camp for questioning. While Blackstar interrogates them, Soul preys on the tired leader's anxieties and quickly begins to influence him, pushing doubts about StarClan's guidance into full-blown rejection of StarClan and, maybe, the Warrior Code itself. At the next gathering, Blackstar, accompanied by Soul and only Soul, announces that ShadowClan will no longer be recognizing the full moon nor attending future gatherings. The next day, in an attempt to bolster ThunderClan's spirits, Firestar holds a naming ceremony for 3 apprentices. Cinderpaw, with her leg healed, is at last made a warrior and given the name Cinderheart. Lionpaw, whose lust for battle has continued to grow and blossom into violent outbursts, is now called Lionblaze. And Hollypaw, who remains steadfast in her dedication to the Warrior Code, even as it is threatened, is named Hollyleaf. But the joy of the ceremony tastes dry in the mouths of our fated trio. After all, what good are these traditions if they are being eroded by change? If StarClan becomes powerless, will the 3 of them, with more power than StarClan at their paw tips, be the ones to usher in a new way of life? Find out next time!
So, overall vibe check on these.
Overall vibe check, SkyClan and the Stranger was, like, it didn't really move me that much, I would say.
No, it was alright.
It was okay, yeah. It's too bad that I didn't like it more than I did, because I really like a lot of the characters involved. It just didn't feel like it had a lot. There wasn't a lot of, like, dynamic storytelling happening with it.
Yeah.
It all felt like a little flat, a little bit just A to B to C, sort of over and over, and was long.
Yeah.
It just felt like it went on a really long time.
It did feel weirdly long, but I guess it's pulling double work of giving some sort of like, here's what SkyClan's up to before the next time you see them, because I think the next time we see them, there's some shit going down.
Yeah, there is more shit going down with them for sure.
And then also kind of giving a little bit more about like where Soul came from and things like that, which is nice, but like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
I am, I'm a huge fan of James Barry's art. Unfortunately, I don't really care for his soul.
I think that I like the resting bitch face, but I'm not as crazy about the color scheme specifically, and like it doesn't really incorporate a lot of what we would consider the like iconic soul traits.
Yeah.
I'm personally not that huge on his leaf star. There's something about the leaf star depiction that I'm not as crazy about design-wise.
Yeah, I agree. Echo Song is serving cunt, though.
Oh yeah, Echo Song looks incredible. And I do like the very fluffy, cartoony Billy Storm look. He really looks like a Disney cat. He's cute.
He's so cute.
Got very, like, if O'Malley, the alley cat, was really fluffy.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to my Aristocats watchers out there.
I do love SkyClan. I thought the kits were adorable too.
I really loved the kits. They're
so
cute.
Precious.
I liked seeing the kits. I really liked Lycanfur. Pour one out for Lycanfur, like the old cat who ended up dying during the flood. She just had great elder energy. You love it when you get a good elder in a warrior cat story.
For sure.
I was so glad to see my guy Shrewtooth, to see that he had like his little hero moment. I was like, it's my guy. I simply love him.
Yeah. I really think there could have been more, but I am glad that like the bits we do see of SkyClan are nice to see, like how they're doing after Firestar and Sandstorm left, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like seeing Sharpclaw and Cherrytail's relationship.
That's cute.
Fuck, dude, they're so fucking cute.
They're cute. The one scene where Cherrytail is like, "Come on, you just admit that you're worried about me because we're gonna have kids or whatever," and he's like, "Stop it, babe.
Nobody knows." And she's like, "Boy, they're gonna know soon." Yeah.
Yeah, I loved catching up with my friends in SkyClan. It's very much like, the reunion tour kind of a thing.
For sure.
I thought it was really, really funny to, in this reading order, see Soul in his most pathetic era.
Oh, he is a boy failure.
He's such a boy failure. I can't believe it. I can't believe this man. It's so funny, but it's really funny to see this side of him before we see him in Eclipse. And then see how it colors the way that I read him in Eclipse in really fun ways that we'll get into. Soul is just is a really fascinating character.
Oh, I love him. I love his character. I think there's a lot I want to talk about with him, but we can wait.
Okay,
we're just going to be talking about him all evening. I noticed your note here is that the old lady is a villain to us, but outside of fiction, shout out to her. Yeah. Honestly, real. I was like, it was a little bit like, oh, Billy Storm, don't say that the kids should go move in with you. Like, they do want to be with their mom too. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, that probably is the safest option, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was funny. I was like, she's just trying to help. But also, Leafstar's kids are so stupid sometimes. Like, what do y'all think you're gonna do?
They are so stupid. I mean, they're babies, but they're also very stupid. But yeah, I agree. It's really hard to see multiple instances in this manga specifically where it's like, we can't be with the humans. What are you talking about? And I'm like, the whole human thing would actually be way better for you guys in the long run. But I know that we're in a fictional universe where the cats have to be like wild and free, and that's the whole thing. And so I have to suspend my disbelief. But also that old lady was probably, it would be better. It would be better for you if you stayed with the old lady. So shout out to that old lady.
Yeah. Shout out to the old lady. She was just trying.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have many other notes about SkyClan and the Stranger.
No, I think I've said everything that I really have to comment on there.
Eclipse, though.
Eclipse.
General thoughts on Eclipse.
I had a good time with this one.
I did too. I really enjoyed it.
It's good. I feel like it's like a little bit slow to get started, like to get off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But once it gets off the ground, I think that there's a section in here, the big battle between all four clans when the eclipse is about to hit. Those chapters with J-Paw like running around and going to all the different fights is like some of the best stuff I think that we've gotten in the series.
I agree. I think that fight is incredible. I think the panic when the eclipse actually hits is so good. I think, being able to see this battle through J-Paw, who like actually can't see, gives it such another like layer of fear and intensity. I just really like this book. I think it sets up a lot of really fun things. As much as I fucking hated every single one of Lion Paw's chapters,
bro,
I really think it shows a lot of like, there's a lot of good character work in this one, I feel like.
There is really a lot of good character work. And I agree that Lion Paw is insufferable in this book.
I cannot fucking stand him. The whole Cinderpaw storyline is so good. Seeing J-Paw like have to like put Leafpool in her place was really, really interesting.
All of the stuff with Leafpool in this book really hit strongly for me. I really liked all of the characterization between her and J-Paw. The feelings that we were getting from her really, really hit me.
Their interactions were so good. Honestly, just a really good J-Paw book, if we're being honest.
Very good J-Paw book.
All of his scenes were some of my favorites. Like, I loved his whole storyline in here. Mm-hmm. And then Lion Paw was like at the bottom, and then Holly Paw, miserable. Like I love Holly Paw, so she's in the middle.
Holly Paw's great. She's still in her cop era a little bit.
Yeah, but she's starting to question things, I think.
Yeah, I suppose it isn't really a cop era because it is a lot more, like you said, like Bible camp kid. Did you use that sort of analogy?
She's in youth pastor era.
Yes, she's in her youth pastor era. That's it. That's totally it.
Yeah, but I do think she's definitely like getting some. She's getting to some questioning bits here.
Yeah, I feel like all three of the main trio here went through significant arcs here. It's just that Lion Paws is really annoying and like not fun to read. But he did have an arc. His arc is getting worse.
He sure did.
Dude, he almost killed his bio dad. What's up with that?
Yo, that was fucked.
That was fucked up.
The way he had that dream about killing Heatherpaw was like, you deserve it. Whoa.
Dude.
Whoa. Back up. Back up.
We gotta take a couple steps back, my guy.
Yeah, he, like, rare Tiger Star W here, where he's like, just because you think you are special does not mean you are special. Like,
yeah,
I do have to give some props to Hawkfrost and Tiger Star for being like, shut the fuck up about how special you are and actually learn how to fight, you idiot. I also thought it was hilarious where there's that one point where Lion Paw is like, where's Hawkfrost? And Tiger Star's like, I was sick and tired of him talking, so he's not coming today.
It's really funny. Me and my son, who I hate.
Me and my son, who annoys the ever-loving shit out of me, but we're stuck in hell together, so I have to deal with him.
We're stuck in hell together. That's what makes it hell, is your son who you can't stand is there. And he won't stop talking to you.
He won't stop talking to you.
I did want to give a real quick shout out to Holly Paw at the beginning of this book, where one of her things is like, the power I want is the power to understand everything. Okay, autism daughter. I get
No,
you.
literally,
I see you.
I was like, they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, no, I get her. I
No, I
understand
totally
what she
get it.
means.
I get it absolutely. 100% I understand. I understand exactly what you mean.
I understand you, Holly Paw.
She just wants to know what the right thing to do is, you know?
She really does. I love her so much.
She's really growing on me this read. Previous reads, I've just been kind of, or my one previous read of this arc, I was very much like, it's Holly Paw, she's over there, but really enjoying her a lot more this time around. And I agree. This is really like the J-Paw turning point for me, where like from here on out, I'm like ride or die for Jay.
Oh, for sure.
And even more so this read around, really good. But why is Lion Paw fucking like this?
He's so annoying. You know what he is? He's every white boy who was told by his mommy that he was special.
Yes, I was going to say he is giving like entitled teenagers so hard.
He is entitled white boy.
My dad gave me his Ferrari
because I know too many of them.
Blech.
Yeah, he's not great.
I feel like I remember really ending up liking him once we get into the next arc. So I'm hopeful that he goes through like some more character growth. I cannot for the life of me remember like most of the details of what happens in these last two books outside of like the big one. And I don't even remember really like the reactions to the big thing that happens that well.
Right. Yeah, because I didn't get very far in the next arc. So I don't think I ever made it to that point of like enjoying Lion Blaze.
I feel like Lion Blaze goes through, like, he's in this era, and then he gets to a point where he's just, like, more just sort of generic mentor, vibes, which works better than this, but is still, like, not, he doesn't super compel me. I really wish that he was more interesting. I really wish.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, there was also a lot of really fun, like, some fun world building stuff kind of going on in here.
Yes.
Specifically, I really enjoyed some discussions of medicine cat work. They just drop on us that ShadowClan practices humane euthanasia, and then they never address it again.
It never comes up again. Unbelievable thing to just drop in one sentence, say to us, have that now live in my head, and not give me any more like what instances has that been used? Why is ShadowClan the only ones that do it? Who is the one that like came up with that? Why do some of the other clans seem to look down on it? Like there's so much in that one sentence. It's crazy.
Yeah. I read that and I had to like read back over it again because I was like, there's no way they just said that.
But they did. Now I'm going to be haunted by that.
Yeah. I mean, for the record, like, I think it's really cool that is something that they do.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I think that is a really fascinating bit of world building.
It's a great bit of world building. And it's so, like, it makes it makes so much sense in the sort of, in the world of warrior cats, which honestly, I think is the thing that I like the most about it, is that it feels so like it slots in so well to everything that we know about their culture and like the way that their medicine works and everything.
Yeah. Especially because, like, you know, they're cats. They can't just go to the vet.
Yeah.
Like, if a cat is terminally ill, like, are you just gonna, do you just want them to suffer? Like, we as humans practice that for animals. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Wild. Anyway.
I liked there's a little nod to obligate carnivores like cats apparently not having taste buds for sweet tastes.
That's correct.
Because Icepaw tries honey at one point and mentions it doesn't taste like anything. And everyone's like, of course it doesn't, silly. That's what honey is. It just makes your throat feel good and like it gives you sort of a warming thing, but it's not doesn't taste like anything, which I thought was a really fun little like,
yeah.
Hey, this is how cats work. I thought that was fun.
Hey, this is how cats do it? The other thing I really enjoyed was J-Paw figuring out that swimming would help with Cinderpaw's leg.
Yes.
And like kind of being able to like deal with his fear of the water to like make sure that he could help her. I just feel like that was a really good moment for J-Paw. Cause like, honestly, dude, you're totally fucking valid for being scared of water after number one, that happened. And number two, like, you can't see shit. Like, I don't blame you for being scared of going into the lake when you're fucking blind, dude.
And he fell into the lake even earlier, remember, when Crowfeather had to drag him out of the lake earlier in the first book. So he's had at least 2 traumatic water-related incidents, and he can't see shit. So yeah, I agree. I really love that. Shout out to the stick for facilitating this thought process.
Shout out to the stick.
J-Paw searched for the right words. How could he explain his need for the stick?
It's so funny the way that he talks about the stick. It's like he's fucking so obsessed.
When I sent a passage into the production chat, and I said this feels Freudian.
It does. That's no, that's like exactly it. It just feels like comfortable, sir.
This was his secret. The fur along his spine rippled at the thought of Leafpool asking questions, of his clanmates staring at his stick, seeing what he could not see, touching what was his. Bro!
Yeah.
It's so funny. But because of all of his thoughts about the stick, it did give him, like, Firestar basically says something like, oh, your stick won't sink because it's wood. Wood doesn't sink, it floats. And then J-Paw was like, oh, float. I also floated in the water. And then he was like, wait a minute, the water holds me up. So Cinderpaw, leg hurt. In the water, leg hurt less.
When you nut in space, it pushes you backwards.
It pushes you backwards.
No, and I really liked that he was like, Firestar, I need you to get me the stick. Just don't ask any questions. And he's like, whatever, my weird grandson.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, okay, son. All right, grandson. Thanks, Peepaw.
Thanks, Peepaw. But yeah, J-Paw on one, obsessed with the stick. Not as obsessed with like figuring out like Leafpool's deep dark secrets, but more like, oh my god, my mentor is the saddest cat in ThunderClan.
Dude,
what the hell?
The moment when he realizes, like, she's really sad. How long has she been this sad? Is, like, genuinely effective. Like, really gets me. Like, it makes me sad again. Leafpool is so sad.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? She's real for being sad. Cause, like,
she's real for being sad.
Damn, dude.
I didn't end up talking about this in the summary, but Squirrel Flight getting really, really hurt in the battle is a great like small mini story beat. And there's like a couple of moments between Squirrel Flight and Leafpool that have just like a little bit of tension behind them that J-Paw notices, and I was like,
oh yeah.
Oh, that tasty, tasty drama of Leafpool being jealous that her sister got to raise her children.
Yeah. Especially like, it's just so rough because they are so sad. They're like, oh my god, what if our mom dies? What are we gonna fucking do? Also, there was just a really sweet Brambleclaw moment there where he's like super worried about her and he's like kind of hovering over her and he's just like, stay with me, Squirrel Flight, please. Like, I'm like,
don't leave me, Squirrel
they
Flight.
Are in love. And then he's like, sleep well, my lovely. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna die. Like, he loves her so much.
When he calls her my lovely, the way I fucking died, he loves her so much.
Other sweet moments, Gray Stripe when Millie is getting ready to give birth.
Oof. Yeah.
Woof, that hurts so bad. And the fact that J-Paw sees a vision of him standing beside Silverstream is so rough. And he's like, oh my god, he's been through some shit. And the way it just, like, I thought it was a really nice moment of Gray Stripe telling, even though there was like no like sign of danger, the fact that he was He was like, if you have to choose a life to save hers.
I
was
know.
like, Graystripe, I love you so much. You are my favorite man. You are such a good boy.
It is such like an honest thing to say, and it just like lays him bare, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's so just like, how can one sentence tell you like a guy's whole deal for real?
Exactly.
It's so good. And I think there's an internal moment of J-Paw being like, he must have loved that silver cat a whole lot, like something like that, which really, really, really good.
And I think that moment, specifically is what felt like to me, like really a defining moment of J-Paw becoming like super, like so much more sympathetic to the cats around him and realizing like, oh, everybody's life kind of sucks shit sometimes. Like, I'm not the only one who has hard stuff going on. Like, yeah. And just kind of realizing like in how much pain all of his clanmates are in. I just think it's very
it's really good.
It's very good. And it's a really this book is J-Paw's turning moment. I know we've said that before, but it really is. Like, I think this is where he becomes like who he is going to be.
For the first 3 books of this arc, he was an empath, and now he has empathy.
Exactly. Damn, that's the soundbite right there, baby.
It's really good. I just love J-Paw in this one. I love that fool.
Do you have anything else you would like to say, or can I talk about my my boy failure?
You can talk about your boy failure. I have a couple other things to like talk about, but we can go to the soul corner here. Take me away.
I would love to talk about Soul. I'm obsessed with him. I've always been obsessed with him. He is just such a weird guy, and I love him. When I was texting Julia today, because I was watching a bunch of multi-animator projects on YouTube this morning, and I was texting Julia, I was like, here's a screenshot of what I'm working on right now. And she was just like, I was like, this is all for one cat. And she's like, damn. I'm like, yeah, he's like this is a Lord of the Rings reference, so I am gonna apologize in advance for that. He's the worm tongue of warrior cats. He's just so like, there's a lot of people I've seen talk about like, oh, I wish that Soul was like more of a threat. And I'm like, he is a threat. Like, he's the fucking slimy, sneaky advisor to the king who is like trying to rule without having to actually do shit. Like,
he's got such Royal Vizier energy.
He's Royal Vizier, and it's so fucking good. And that's why I'm like, he doesn't need to be like a villain like Scourge or Tiger Star where like their whole thing is murdering people. Like, he's a manipulator, and I love that he's like kind of a different sort of villain than we usually get. And like the way he's very often portrayed as so like morally gray. Like, he's not like, you have to stop believing in StarClan. He's like, oh, do you doubt StarClan? Like, I mean, they didn't send any signs about the eclipse, so like maybe they didn't have anything to do with it. Like, the way he is just so slimy about it is perfect.
He does the thing where it's like, I'm gonna repeat what you said to me, but in like a slightly different tone, and say it like it's a new statement, and it's like, I wrote in my notes what a fraud here, but it's affectionate because like he is playing the snake oil salesman so literally well.
And it's so good. He's a con artist, and I love it.
He's a fucking con man.
And I just think he's such a fascinating character. And I really can't wait until we see more of like how he is out here manipulating the clans and stuff. But I just think having him kind of come in like some spiritual guide, and he's like, yes, I have heard about you, Firestar, just like I've heard of ThunderClan and all these things. And the cats are like, how the fuck did this guy hear about us? Like, how does he know? How does he know all this shit? Like, him coming in like he has all the answers, I just think is like such a good setup for him to start manipulating everyone. And I think it's just, he is a fascinating character to me.
Yeah, he's really interesting. I I think that it's so fun. And I think that having it in this reading order where we did SkyClan and the Stranger and then directly went into Eclipse, like I had said earlier, is really fun to see how different he is, but how that same DNA is definitely there. Where like,
for sure,
he is always looking for an angle.
Definitely. And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just love the angling that he does.
Well, and I think reading the SkyClan manga beforehand kind of shows, like, you know, his first attempt was like, oh, I'll do this, like, I'll become a warrior, and then I'll kind of, like, make my way to the top that way. And then he was like, that's too much work, and they are not going to, like, vibe with the way I'm going to do these things. So I got to find a different way of doing this. And so instead he's of, like, coming to Firestar and being like, can I join your clan? He's like, oh, I am but a traveler passing through, spreading this word. Like, I just need to speak to your medicine cats, and then I'll be gone and out of your hair. And it's like, okay, you fucking weirdo. Like,
it's time to make him, you know, leave him wanting more.
Exactly. He, like, learned from his experience in SkyClan, like, okay, here's how I gotta go about it. I can't come on too strong.
Yeah, you gotta, you know, slow roll it.
Yeah, slow burn it. But yeah, I think that was, I just think this is a fun book, fun villain. I love I love a manipulative villain who, like, is just kind of, they don't do any of the actual work. They just manipulate everyone to do the work for them.
Yeah, this is kind of like, Soul to me is so much more fun than like what we got with Starflower, which kind of had some of that manipulation in there, and her dad, One Eye, I guess, also had some of that. Both of them had a little bit of like that manipulator vibe to them.
Yeah,
but it did not work in that arc nearly as well, I think, as Soul works here.
Yeah,
I feel like the thing I feel like with Soul is that I remember not feeling super good about how his arc wraps, just that it feels anticlimactic, but I
think that is a fair assessment based on what I remember.
Currently having a great time with him.
Cannot wait to see more.
And you know, I don't know if it's just because I was watching all the AMVs earlier, or because I've been in the fucking yaoi mines the last 2 weeks. But I don't. Is it just me, or do Soul and Blackstar have something homoerotic going on in this book?
There's a little bit of something going on there. They're a little bit, you know.
A little bit, you know.
So just a little bit.
And I'm kind of here for it.
I am too. Toxic yaoi. You know I'm here for toxic yaoi.
Yeah. That's true. That's your thing. The toxic yaoi.
Oh.
I'm interested. I hope we see a little bit more of that. I'm very fascinated by their whole dynamic. And I don't remember really how all of that plays out. I don't remember how much of it we actually get to see.
I don't either.
In future arcs, we're going to start getting point of view protagonists that are spread across a couple of different clans.
Which, thank God.
I know. I love it. I love it so much once we get to that point and we are getting to see a bunch of like different clan business from various angles. I'm really missing that here, where we don't really have a viewpoint into what the heck is going on in Shadow Clan or in Wind Clan and River Clan.
Yeah. We have no idea why River Clan came to join Wind Clan in this fight.
Thing. Why did they do that?
And the fact that nobody, like, this is something that I'm going to touch on I put down to touch on in Sharing Tongues, but, like, they don't even fucking talk about it. Because Blackstar comes in and he's like, we don't believe in StarClan anymore. Bye. And everyone's like, well, okay, I guess we were going to talk about that big fight we all just had, but now we got a different problem. Absolutely wild.
I will say, you know, last week, I gave a shout out to One Star for being normal. It's gone. He is no longer normal. It left so fast. He stopped being normal so fast. There was a line in here that made me so genuinely angry. Which is that, like, earlier in the book, Firestar tries to send some cats to talk to One Star because One Star WindClan cats have been coming over into ThunderClan territory, hunting there. And so Firestar sends a patrol, and the patrol gets like halfway to WindClan's camp and are stopped and turned back and like refused essentially. And they just wanted to talk to One Star. So they're turned away. There's something there's what's happening is that there's farmers grazing their sheep in WindClan territory, and so like WindClan's prey is the whole like food situation is all fucked up. But One Star has the audacity to come into this fight and say that Firestar and ThunderClan watch the other clans suffer after he literally refused help earlier in this book was untenable. That was the worst. I hated it.
Sucked. And like, not only did he deny help, but he also like refused to admit that he needed help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he like he's fucking looking Firestar in the eyes as he says it too. It's so...
He's such a bitch.
My heart just hurts for Firestar with his the ruined friendship between him and One Star. It's so fucking sad.
It sucks so bad.
Ugh, it's just miserable. But I mean, it did get an emotional response out of me, so it's good. It's good storytelling, but I'm so fucking mad at One Star right now. I want to shake that man around like a rag doll, which I suppose in general leads into my other note, which is blah blah blah. Territory disputes between WindClan and ThunderClan. Get a new bit.
I know. I'm sick of this shit. It's Sunning Rocks all over again.
I'm fucking tired of this shit, Grandpa.
It's Sunning Rocks all over again.
It is. Why does there always have to be something? Can we do something other than territory disputes? I do think that in future arcs there's like other shit going on.
Yeah, I do think, if as far as I know, I think that the focus is less on the territory disputes and more on the fuck ass religion shit that's happening.
Yeah. But yeah, it really is Sunning Rocks 2.0 is just WindClan being hungry.
Strip of land.
Yeah.
Well, that's about all I had for Eclipse. Good book. Enjoyed it.
Good book. I have just one more thing to talk about because we talked about the big cool fight, so I'll click that one off. That fight, I do want to highlight again though that fight with J-Paw going all over and like finding the cats that are injured and bringing them back to camp and like running all over the place. That shit fucked. That was so cool.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I agree with what you said earlier that all of it being like, or so much of it being from J-Paw's perspective, where we are hearing about other sensory input other than visuals, had to be really like consciously written to like not slip up on that stuff, I'm sure, because visuals is so much the thing that like as writers we tend to immediately sort of just go to, and I think it's really fun that they decided to do it in a way that is harder to write than one of the other POV characters. Brief shout out to Foxpaw and Icepaw, the youngest apprentices right now. They're so fucking funny. They're funny in this book. They're just like the kids bebopping around. It's cute. And then the other thing is I did like... There's one line about Longtail and Mousefur that did like spring, like Athena from Zeus's forehead, like an entire scenario came into my brain about a scene, a little mini fic where it's the two of them up in Firestar's den and they are looking after one of Graystripe and Millie's kits, Blossom Kit, because she fell asleep with Mousefur, like in the events post this big battle. And I just started thinking, like, in that moment, thinking about the two of them, Longtail and Mousefur, thinking about, like, how this could be them. Like, they could have been having, if they had had kits, a moment like this could have happened, where, like, Longtail is, you know, spending this time with Mousefur with this little kit curled up against her and thinking about Like, if things had been different, this could have been us. And it just like sprang 100% into my brain and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I really like Longtail and Mouse for a lot. I've discovered that in this
They're
in
such
this
a
arc.
fun couple.
I love them.
I
forgot that they're really sweet. I forgot that Purdy doesn't come back immediately. Like I think he's in the next book, but I was like, where is fucking Purdy?
Yeah.
That related only because like elder talk.
Right.
Okay, that's it for me.
Why don't you take us to the Erin Corner?
Sure, just a quick little Erin Corner. A fun note that I found about the original cover art, the one with J-Paw on it, is that it was the first book in the main series where the central cat, in this case J-Paw, was on the cover and like comes out of the frame. Like his ears poke out of the frame, his muzzle doesn't quite poke out, it's just his ears. But that was the first time that sort of stylistic choice was made on the cover, which as a visual artist, I just like when sort of the expectations of a visual rule are broken. So I thought that was fun. Wanted to point that out. Just another quick reference to the Law and Order SUV representation. It's so funny. It's back again. I just had to mention it again. You can 100% see that this is the Warriors book Eclipse, and it's on her shelf. She's holding a baby. Why is she holding a baby in this? I don't know. I don't know anything about that show. Does she have a baby?
I don't think she does. No, she does. Olivia Benson child.
Olivia Benson baby.
She adopts a kid.
Oh, so maybe this is her baby, or maybe this
15.
is... I don't think this was season 15. Maybe it was. Season 15? 15 of them? How many fucking seasons
there's more than 15, baby.
Law and Order SVU seasons.
Oh no, season 12, she's also named the guardian of some other kid.
1999 to present is how long this fucking show has been running.
Law and Order SVU is a long ass show.
Season 26.
Holy shit.
26 seasons is so many.
Yeah, that's...
They can't fucking get... Netflix fucking baby ass Netflix over here won't even renew things for a second season.
I know. Not fun.
What are we doing? Television is broken.
From what I know, like SVU has a stranglehold on the middle-aged white woman demographic. So like,
yeah, that sounds about right.
It's never gonna die. That and Grey's Anatomy, they're sticking around forever, baby. I want more. They will never be killed.
We've got to start giving some other shows the chance to do this shit too, because I know some shit would have some stranglehold on me, and I would just keep watching it. Not these shows. These just aren't my thing. I'm not like Law and Order does nothing for me.
I love watching videos about Law and Order.
Yeah, exactly.
Like watching Law and Order, but that's just me. Like, I know some folks who are obsessed.
I believe that it is loved by many. I used to be like a Boston legal kid.
I mean, you are also a Columbo.
I am a Columbo head. I am a fiend for Columbo. God, I love a Columbo. Wow. Think about Columbo.
Sorry, I've done this.
Love that little guy. I was a huge West Wing person. I went through a West Wing era.
I never watched West Wing, but I feel like Eric would love it because he's been obsessed with Scandal. Sorry,
I think Eric would love it.
We need to focus up.
Sorry, yeah. Well, this is the Paws and Clause After Dark episode. We're recording this much later than we usually record.
Yeah, it's almost midnight my time.
Oh God, I could easily just keep yapping. We gotta speed up.
You don't gotta speed up. We just gotta stop taking detours.
Josh Lyman in West Wing, another seminal, pathetic man for Scout. Thank you very much.
Nice.
The 3-chapter battle scene in Eclipse was one of the hardest sections of the series that Kate has had to write. She said this, and then a battle that will come up in the next arc. And I just wanted to shout out that she said that it was really hard and wanted to give her props because I think she did phenomenal.
I think she fucking nailed it.
It was really good. Soul was apparently inspired by a real cat named Aslan. Vicky said that this cat was, quote, super cool and even basks on a stone slab in the sunshine. Love that. Love that little detail.
Love that.
There's a couple more Soul notes from the Erins, but I want to revisit them later in the arc when we like see more of his whole story. So we'll wrap back around to those. And that's it for the Erin Corner. Take me to Sharing Tongues, Jill.
Yeah, so there's a lot. Obviously, we won't be able to go into detail on all of it because there's a lot of soul AMVs.
There's so many soul AMVs.
Like a lot.
I think first, you recommended earlier, you said this earlier in production chat that we should make a YouTube playlist of like the AMVs that we talk about or want to showcase. And I think I am.
Yeah, because I always forget to put it in the show notes.
Mm-hmm, me too.
And I just feel like if I'm already watching it on YouTube, it's going to be so much quicker for me to just pop that bad boy in a playlist.
Yeah, so I think we're going to do that. And then we can just add that link into the show notes so that folks can go check it out every time we have a new episode.
We just have here, Tumblr has just a lot of, the thing is, everybody loves this dude, and they're right for it. And part of it is he just has such a unique and cool design.
Yes.
So what I have a lot of today is just so much soul fan art. Everybody's got a different interpretation. There's a lot of Solar Eclipse 2024 fan art with the solar eclipse and soul. So I just think that is pretty funny. There's another post here with a soul design, and it says, "Love this bastard. He's transgender. He's a false prophet. He's lying to get power. He's the best Warrior Cats villain."
I love that.
Which, yeah, for those of you who don't know, we've talked about this before, way back, the prophecies begin. But,
with Red Tail.
Yeah, male tortoiseshell cats do exist, but they are incredibly rare. So I love that we're just like, yeah, no, he's just trans now.
A lot of people will just be like, nah, that cat's transgender, and I love that.
And you know what? They're real for that, and I agree. But yeah, just a lot of fan art for this guy and a lot of really fun designs. Everybody really like takes the sort of like the long ears and the fluffy tail and kind of is just like, all right, I'm just gonna run with it and go crazy. And like with the tortoiseshell, people give a lot of fun like little details on their designs. This one cracks me up from Amethyst Halo, where they have Soul in fan art versus Soul in my brain. And Soul in fan art is like this very regal looking cat. And Soul in my brain is just like almost, oh god, what was it called? Legend of Pee-Pee?
Yes!
Is that what it's called? Like almost Legend of Pee-Pee looking cat that just says pathetic man, wet tissue, loser. I just think the amount of affectionate derogatory terms used for him is so real. Like stinky, slinky little man, slimy little guy.
He really is.
Just a lot of fun designs, really. There's this one that's got lunar phase inspired markings that they put on him.
Oh.
That one's from, I believe, Twisted Toms at tumblr.com. And then the next one I've got here just says Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss.
I love this one. The one from Two Cans Full.
Yeah, that's the way the eyes kind of pop out and the grin kind of goes is so creepy.
And the ears, like the ears almost like rabbit ears in their shape.
That side profile is giving Fern Gully. Like the bat from Fern Gully. Yes, it is giving
Fern Gully. Oh my god, you're so right. And the way his eyes look like the Eclipse.
Yeah. Cool. Here's another one. Soul is my favorite because he's an escaped soap opera character, and it's extremely funny to watch him pull intense drama in the clans that normally only talk about how the prey is running. Huge missed opportunity that he never came back with a litter of kits, declaring Blackstar the father. Beloved drama queen knows what I want in this series is intense political and emotional cat drama, and boy does he deliver. Honestly, so real. Thank you, SkyClan Funny Name Squad at tumblr.com.
Dude, if we go with trans Soul, we could totally have...
Yeah.
Canonically, he could totally come back with kids that are Black Stars. That would rule.
I think it's so funny.
Warrior Cats and Prey.
Damn.
It's too late at night.
Oh, I'm sure there's some that exists out there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another one. This one says, Black Star, I cannot physically blame you for letting this dumbass take over your clan. That's from Thor Dude, who has a soul in front of a solar eclipse.
I like this other one that says, what if we reigned over Shadow Clan together and you discarded your religion and we were both
we
boys?
Were both boys. JK, unless.
Unless?
There's another funny one on Twisted Tom's page. Which is just like a small little like TikTok sized video of Soul. Is the name of the song Savage? I think it is.
I think it is.
Yes, by Megan Thee Stallion the song Savage, and it's just a compilation of soul failure moments.
It's really good.
So funny.
That moment in the manga where he like stomps his foot because he's throwing a tantrum.
It's so fucking funny.
It's so funny. Good shit.
And then we've just got a bunch of Soul videos. It's so good. There's the Soul video is Everything Moves. Like
one of my all-time faves.
Oh, it's an all-time. And that is like one of the ones that like I feel like is super well known in the fandom. Because like when I was looking for fan art, like people not involved with this video like still use that video like lyrics from that song as their caption because like it is just so associated with him.
It is ingrained. It's really good.
Yeah, it contains a couple spoilers for things you guys may not yet know.
Like we technically don't know yet, yeah.
But it's beautiful. Some of these visuals are just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a really fun one. The very ending, or the ending, absolutely perfect. I love it.
It's so good.
Such a good one.
Also obsessed with the transition where it like zooms out on him and he does the whole thing with like he's got the leaf and like scratches over it to indicate StarClan's demise or whatever.
Yeah.
So good. It's good. It's so fucking good. I think about this one and rewatch it so often because I love the artistry of this particular one so much, and it did make me obsessed with this song, and it is on at least 2 of my character playlists now.
Incredible. There's another one that's a Soul and Black Star PMV, and the design for Soul is like he is just a little spiky guy, and it's so
just
fun.
A spiky guy. I really like the designs for both of them in that one.
Yeah, there's another that's to one of the songs from Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, and I'm honestly furious at how good it is.
I know!
I'm so mad at how good it is.
It's genuinely good.
It's so good.
I think J-Paw's my favorite part of that one. They really cast J-Paw correctly in that one.
It was so good. We got another one to Bad Citizen. It's pretty short, but very fun. Who Are You Really? That one goes so fucking hard.
That one goes hard. That song goes so hard.
That
and
song
it's
goes
great
hard.
for Soul.
There's another Black Star one that I found.
This Black Star one is very sad, very good.
Yeah. There's some little animation memes. There's an Evanescence one, The World is Healing. There's one that creeped me out because I don't like clowns, but the one thing I do have to say for that particular animation meme is a lot of fan artists and animators in the fandom will give the leaders like a little star symbol on their heads to like designate that like, hey, this is one of the leaders. And instead of a star, they put like a third eye on his head, like a pattern of a third eye in his fur on his forehead. And I just thought that was a really like
that's really, really cool.
Fun design choice. Then there's that one from TikTok where it's like, don't you want to become a cult leader? And it's like, yeah, wow, okay, that's him.
It really works. It really works. I do like the hypnotic one too, just because I really like that. I like that song a lot. That song is so Rama Lama Bang Bang or whatever the hell it says.
And it's really fun. Just like all of he's such a popular character to make videos of.
I love how many there are. It's packed. Fucking
And this
packed.
wasn't even all of them. Like the ones I found are just like the ones that I was like, oh, these are really good and I can like mention some stuff for them. But like there's so many out there. And everybody's soul looks different. It's great. AO3, there are 4 works for Eclipse.
That's thin.
Yeah, it's a little sparse out there. But there are 67 fics for Soul,
Hell yeah.
including quite a bit of Soul and Black Star. So
I'm into it.
We are
I'm
not the only ones.
I'm glad that I'm not the only one.
And I put a link to one in here, though it covers some stuff we haven't quite gotten to yet, but I mostly put it in there for you. But yeah, there's some fun Soul fics out there. I think like a lot of like manipulative ones. Also, we're not gonna rant about it because we've talked about this before. I did find somebody put an AI generated fic in the tag and it made me very upset. So
get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. We don't want that shit.
Don't use ChatGPT to write fics. Scram!
She doesn't want to talk to you.
Leave her alone.
So yeah, just don't do that shit.
Don't do it.
It's really kind of disrespectful to people who like put in the effort to go ahead and put this shit out for free. So like maybe don't. That's about it. Just the summary is Soul cool. Soul has fun designs, fan art good, and I love artists.
Hell yeah. Artists
basically.
Artists are great.
Artists are great. Writers are great. Love you guys so much.
Love you all. Keep making things, gamers.
Keep making things, man. Love making things. Why don't we talk about our Warrior Cat of the Week?
Warrior Cat of the Week time. I originally picked only one and then remembered we had 2 things, so I added one. So these are listed in the doc in reverse order. For the manga, it's got to be Shrewtooth because I loved seeing him again. He had his little hero moment. I just love that guy so much. One of my all-time favorite SkyClan cats. Shout out to Shrewtooth. And then for Eclipse, I chose Leafpool because I really liked her characterization in this one. I really liked all of the stuff we saw with her and J-Paw and seeing the sadness in her. She had really strong moments and then she had really strong moments in both ways. Like we've talked in previous episodes about her being in her messy era. She is still very messy right now in a way that is really interesting and effective for me to read, and I like it a lot. What about you?
I was just reminded that I probably should have picked one for the manga as well. So, I picked for the manga Sharpclaw. He didn't have like a huge role, but it was really nice to see because, when we last left them off, like he was being better about like not coming across so ambitious. And I feel like we just get to see like a softer side of Sharpclaw in this book. Or in this little manga series, and we also kind of get to see like how good of a deputy he is and how much like SkyClan is different than the other clans because he's over here like, girl, go be with your kids. I can handle whatever needs to be done.
I know, it's really nice.
So that was really nice. I just really liked Sharpclaw there.
That was great.
And then J-Paw for Eclipse because I just really enjoyed all of his. We've talked at length about it. I just really liked his stuff in here. I think he was a really fun character to read, and I was like, every time there was a Lion Paw chapter, I was kind of like, can we go back to J-Paw, please?
Go back to J-Paw. I don't want to be here anymore. Fun.
I don't want to listen to Lion Paw imagine killing people. But yeah, so J-Paw was my pick for Eclipse. I just think he had a lot of really good moments.
Yeah, he did. He was a great one in this one. Really, really stand out for sure.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. I gotta
2 minutes to midnight. Can we wrap it up?
Woo! Let's go. If you have thoughts, opinions, questions, or memes to share with us, you can write to us at pawsandclawspod at @gmail.com. That's paws as in what a cat has, claws as in the part of speech, pod as in podcast. We are also on Twitter and Blue Sky at Paws and Claws, and on Tumblr at Paws Clause Pod. Listeners who are 18 years and older can come join us on Discord, which is linked in the show notes. We are brought to you by the TWG Podcast Network, which you can find at theworstgarbage.online. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, or Blue Sky at HumbleGoat, and see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art, at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com.
And you can find me on Twitter at plot_twists, on Blue Sky at plot-twists, or on Tumblr at antique-romantic. Our next episode will be out in 2 weeks, where we will discuss The Power of Three, Book 5, Long Shadows. Read along by buying the book from a local bookstore, or checking a copy out from your local library. Until then, dear listeners, may StarClan guide your paws.
TWG, the worst garbage, online.